The USL League One season rolls on from the greater Lexington area tonight as a Lexington SC side with revenge atop its mind hosts Chattanooga Red Wolves. It's USL League One presented by UK Healthcare. Here's a look at the USL League One standings. A pair of clubs towards the bottom of the table. Lexington SC in the cellar, but they've got points in their last three. Chattanooga climbing out of the basement with a 2-0 victory over Forward Madison last Wednesday. For Lexington, the player to watch is a Test Diouf, who's got 3 goals in his last 2 matches. It all started with a brace against Northern Colorado Hailstorm on June 3rd. He was named Week 12 Player of the Week for his troubles. And what did he do next? He built on that with a huge equalizer against Tormenta in the 16th minute on Saturday. You'll see that now, a terrific first-time hit to move Lexington level. Meanwhile, Lexington fans will be all too familiar with the Chattanooga player to watch, Ropapa Mensah, who scored the game-winning goal against Lexington on April 29th. He's hit his stride, a goal and an assist against Forward Madison last Wednesday. You just saw the assist to Siobhan Marsh. Here's the finish in the 37th minute, a towering header to open the scoring for Chattanooga. Just about ready for all of the action here at Toyota Stadium in Georgetown, Kentucky. Lineups and kickoff when we return on ESPN+. A big one brewing here in USL League One at Toyota Stadium.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up?
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
Good, we're gonna take it
You
up.
don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, orthopedic surgery, and sports medicine. The power of advanced medicine.
Teams taking the pitch here at Toyota Stadium for the second ever meeting between Lexington Sporting Club and Chattanooga Red Wolves SC. And let's take a look at what transpired the last time these two teams met up in Chattanooga at CHI Memorial Stadium. In the 78th minute, So-So Kim gave Lexington the lead, and it looked like they were on their way to their first win on the road. But then things unraveled for the visitors. Cardona equalized in the 80th. Then this costly error by Austin Causey allowed Ropapa Mensah to give Chattanooga the lead 2 minutes later. And to add insult to injury, Mael Malongo polished it off with a terrific finish in stoppage time as Chattanooga took a 3-1 victory. Here's your look at Lexington SC's lineup under head coach Sam Stockley. Not too many changes from the one we saw last weekend. Jalen James and Nico Brown, the wingers. Of course, Test Diouf has 3 goals in his last 2 games, and Amal Knight named for Team of the Week for the 2nd time in a Lexington kit, a season-high 9 saves against Tormenta in that 1-1 draw. Chattanooga, on the other hand, has plenty of changes. They are ravaged with injury, and they have a couple players in Nico Cardona and also Ricardo Jerez on international duty. So Carlos Aviles slots between the sticks for his 2nd consecutive game. Meanwhile, Travis Nicklaw makes his first appearance since April 8th at center back. Mo Espinosa, the star with his 2nd consecutive start. He has 3 assists in his last 4 matches, tied for 2nd in the league in that category. And Mael Malongo and Ropapa Mensah in the initial 11 as per usual. Just about set for kickoff here from Toyota Stadium as Chattanooga in the white kits look set to get us underway. Chattanooga side that snapped a 5-match winless drought. With that victory on Wednesday for Lexington, they're winless in their last 4. Underway here from Georgetown, the rematch we've awaited since April 29th. For Lexington, they come in on the back of 3 consecutive draws. It's the longest point streak in club history. They have not won a match since May 13th, a 1-0 victory over Charlotte Independence, a game in which Amal Knight saved them from the spot in second-half stoppage time to defeat a team that was then positioned 2nd. For Chattanooga, on the other hand, we mentioned winless in 5 straight before that 2-0 victory over Forward Madison. But this is a Chattanooga side that has not logged a point on the road this season. 4 losses in as many matches away from home. Here's Aaron Lombardi with his first touch. It's down the line for Crafts. Gets into it too much with Owen Green. Here is your look at the injury report presented by UK Healthcare. Nothing reported for Lexington. They're up to full fitness. For Chattanooga, 4 men injured. Manuel Madrid and the big name that jumps, Alex Tejero, who scored in the USL League One final a season ago, is out with a meniscus injury. We mentioned it moments ago when reading the lineups. Chattanooga not only with injury concerns, but multiple men on international duty in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Coach Ziggy Koratowski said it's a little frustrating. They haven't had a consistent 11 all season. Just when they were seemingly getting up to full strength, the injury bug bites again. Here's Walefi, the longest tenured player in Chattanooga Red Wolves history. It's a pair of sides under 2 first-year coaches. Sam Stockley, very experienced as an assistant. This is his first head coaching job outside of NISA in the American Soccer Pyramid. For Ziggy Koratowski, a very experienced coach, primarily making his trade in Guatemala and Central America. He's now in his first campaign with Chattanooga Red Wolves, a proven track record of success. Still looking to implement that here in Chattanooga. Here's Murillo. He and Caitlin Fox have established a very solid center back partnership these last few weeks. Both incredibly experienced as well. Murillo now in his 4th different League One club. Not smart. preparing tonight, the Lexington lineup was largely similar to what Lex sporting fans were accustomed to. Don Smart, though, is the new addition. You see him getting into a tussle with Liborio in the center of the park there. It was Pila Domini, who was the regular in that 6th spot. He's moved to the substitutes bench for the first time this year. Chattanooga, we've mentioned the ups and downs this year. That's been pretty much across the board. It's a Chattanooga side with just 10 goals in 11 matches, but they've only scored in 4 total matches. Every single time they score a goal, it comes in waves. Multiple goals in every match in which they put the ball in the back of the net. For Lexington, they had some troubles going forward, but now with 5 goals in their last 3 matches, starting to figure things out in possession. Mitchell looks ahead for Will Bainham, the Australian, and nodded back to Aviles. Just joining us, we'd like to thank you for spending your Wednesday night with us here on ESPN+. 2 sides in the bottom 3 of USL League One, but we showed you the table off the top. Chattanooga, with just 11 points, is still only 5 points off playoff pace, and with a ton of soccer left to be played. Robertson swerves beyond Marsh. Smart looking ahead for Bainham. Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Mitchell not thrilled with that decision, thought it should have been a corner. 28-year-old native of Newcastle, England, began his footballing days in the Newcastle United Academy. Spent last season, though, in League One with FC Tucson. And despite the struggles of both of these sides, the important thing to note, especially about Lexington, is they play a very entertaining brand of football. It was one of the first things Coach Stockley mentions on the phone every week. They like to possess a lot, they press heavy, and they've got some stars. And here's one of those in Nico Brown. Brown! And a great stop by Aviles. Aviles, the 24-year-old, passes his first major test between the sticks. And how about this from Tate Robertson, who leads this team in chances created. Terrific diagonal ball forward. Nico Brown was inches from his 3rd of the year.
Taking the corner, Lexington SC, number 8, Charlie Mitchell.
Here's the first UK Health corner kick of the night. And Charlie Mitchell to deliver the in-swinger. Back post stood up, cleared only as far as Don Smart. And now Doof for James. Press certainly posing early issues for Chattanooga. They're struggling to play out of their own half at the moment. And speaking to Ziggy Korotowski this week, the changes are really what's concerned him the most. He's never had a full-strength 11 this season, and even Mo Espinosa, who's just starting to work his way to full fitness, has been in and out of the lineup this year. He said looking around the league, he's almost jealous of the likes of Richmond and Charlotte, who have had a consistent 11 all year. For Chattanooga, be it injuries and performances and things of the like, he's never really been able to establish a first-choice 11. And tonight has been forced to make changes again. Nick Law into the center because Nico Cardona's on international duty, and also Manuel Madrid, who was a usual alongside Mikhail Williams, is not available tonight. Here's your look at the former Tormenta man, Owen Green. Scored the game winner against his former club in mid-April. One of the better dual threat right backs. Talking to Coach Korotowski at Chattanooga, the first thing that came to mind for him when talking about Lexington was the ability of those outside backs. Tate Robertson leads this team in chances created. Owen Green has shown an ability to get forward all year. But he said, due to their emphasis on attacking down the flanks, we expect to be able to hit them in transition. And you've already seen the aggressiveness of the press from Lexington. You just wonder if maybe they over-exert themselves going forward. Mitchell on the free kick. Kraft settles with white shirts ahead. Here's another look at this duel between Espinosa and Charlie Mitchell. Just a little hand to the face. Mitchell, a good job selling it. Espinosa undoubtedly was the first name on the scouting report for Lexington, as there's an awkward back pass that is fielded pretty confidently by Aviles. Mentioned the press for Lexington, and through the opening quarter of an hour, it has certainly had its desired effect for Sam Stockley and company. Brown takes the boot from Walefi, and there may be a card in the offing. First man in the book for either side. It's the Chattanooga number 8. Red Wolves captain in the books. Boot comes late, studs up. And a set piece for Lexington here in the 14th. Brown has been involved from the jump here for Lexington. He and Tate Robertson have been the most threatening in possession tonight. There's your look at Ziggy Koratowski in his first season at the helm of this Chattanooga Red Wolves club. It's a Chattanooga club that, despite making the USL League One final, has been through considerable turnover. The interim head coach Jimmy Weekly has recently rejoined Coach Koratowski's staff after he helped lead Chattanooga to the League One final a year ago. But Coach Koratowski's got his work cut out for him. Just 4 of 13 players that logged over 1,000 minutes are back this year, and we've already spoken about the revolving door of availability he's dealt with. You figure once he starts to figure out his first choice 11, his tactics will start to take shape. He's done it everywhere else he's gone with considerable success. Meanwhile, Sam Stockley, also in his first season, a man who's coached as an assistant across the globe in England, also in the United States. So had an 18-year playing career, the highlight of which being the 2001 Barnet Player of the Year. Spent a lot of his professional career in English Football League One, which is the 3rd tier over there. Quarter of an hour gone here from Toyota Stadium in Georgetown. Lexington has certainly taken more of the initiative. They've also had the best chance through Nico Brown, but neither side with anything to show for it yet. Here's Mael Malongo, one of the 3 Chattanooga goal scorers the last time these two sides met. Crafts forward for Rapapamensa. Man in red-hot form for Chattanooga. Looking for Malongo. And Robertson does well to usher out for a goal kick. Mal Knight hasn't had much to do today, but we know he certainly is not fazed by a heavy workload. A man who had a club record 9 saves and was selected to his 2nd team of the week on Saturday against Tormenta. So had 6 saves and a clean sheet against Charlotte Independence on May 13th. He's had matches where he's been peppered a bit, but the Jamaican international is very solid between the sticks. Leffy certainly getting a bit daring for a man on a yellow card. Shoving into the back of Diouf. Brown. And now Owen Green. Diouf comes deep to claim. And Malongo slides in on James. Red Wolves looking to break the opposite direction through Espinosa, the danger man. That will not trouble Knight between the sticks. You see the early emphasis from Chattanooga when they pick up the ball is trying to attack down the flanks. Fullbacks so far for Lexington have done well to run up and down the field and beat the wingers down the pitch. All the fans out in full force tonight. in Georgetown, Kentucky. Got one young fan right behind field goal posts. A Lexington community that Coach Stockley says has jumped at the opportunity to support their local club. A side that housed over 3,000 people in their home opener in April. They continuously draw very solid support from the local fans. Waleffi's holding midfield partner Liborio draws a talking to from Kevin Feikar, the lead official. Not a lot in that, but definitely a whistle. Another former San Diego man in Nisa, a large California contingent on this Chattanooga roster. Brown. Looks for Bainham, a little too tight on Aviles. Knight plays the role of sweeper, and the risk pays dividends. Crunching tackle from Smart. Now Jalen James to Robertson on the overlap. Diouf. Man who has the world at his feet right now. Robertson. Cross stood up, out for a UK Health corner kick. Tate Robertson in the midst of yet another solid performance here at the midway point of this first half. And a second UK Healthcare corner kick on the way for Charlie Machel and company. Once again, a bit too tight on Aviles. It is impressive how seamlessly Aviles settled back into the lineup last week. A man who had not played in 6 consecutive matches prior to cracking the 11 last weekend in Harris's absence. Had a 5-save clean sheet. It was by no means a quiet night for him, but did enough to hold off Madison in the second half for a much-needed victory for the Red Wolves. And Diouf draws the offside flag. Here's Waleffi. For Aaron Lombardi. Another man who was on the injury report entering tonight. Coach Korotowski was confident he would play earlier this week. It's now a question of how many minutes they let him go. He's been weathering the storm of a mini knock, so to speak. Liborio takes a crunching challenge from Smart. Most experienced player on this Lexington roster comes in a little late. Making just his 2nd start of the year. Player who's got experience at the USL League One and USL Championship levels. just joining us tonight, we'd like to thank you for tuning in here on ESPN+. Sam Goldfarb here, bringing you all the action as Lexington and Chattanooga get set for a rematch of their April 29th thriller. If you missed it on the open, that was a 3-1 victory for Chattanooga, but all 3 of their goals came in the final 10 minutes of the match. Lexington took a 1-0 lead late. It looked like they were on the way to claiming their first ever road victory. Instead, Chattanooga ripped their hearts out at the death. Here so far, it's been a match largely controlled by Lexington, but outside of one glaring Nico Brown one-on-one, no major chances for either side. Obstructed by Marsh. Javon Marsh, another creative winger, slowly growing into his role with Chattanooga. Scored his second goal of the year Wednesday night. He and Ropapa Mensah slowly building a rapport on the pitch. We've mentioned the sheer degree of turnover. This is not the same side that reached the final. Here's Diouf. Gets through, and a great recovery by Niklaw with Aviles off his line. Lexington's troubled teams with the long ball lately. This time comes through Owen Green. Ates Diouf tries to chip the keeper. Did well enough to close down the angle. A former San Antonio FC man who, since the turn of the calendar to June, has been a handful for opposing defenses, to say the least. Here's Robertson. Robertson, another player who drew very high praise from Chattanooga Red Wolves head coach Ziggy Koratowski, who, without hesitation, labeled him one of the best outside backs and wingers in USL League One. It's a Lexington team with tons of talent, and they've started to really figure out their best 11. It's one of those players who's broken in lately. Jalen James wins the free kick. James wins it back. And Diouf has space. Ates Diouf! A late challenge, and the referee points to the spot. Walefi the culprit, and Lexington with an opportunity from 12 yards. Ates Diouf has been sensational in the month of June. Here you see him run right at Niklaw. Walefi dives in, got a bit of ball and a bit of ankle, and it was enough to draw the ire of Kevin Fikar. Lombardi, the man who's given the yellow card. He gets that for what seems to be dissent. Don Smart, if past history serves as any indication, should be the man to take it. Instead, they'll let Diouf stand over it. Lexington, 2 of 2 this season on penalties. Both were taken by Smart. This will be Diouf's first attempt from 12 yards of the year. And he will hand it off to the tried and true penalty man. And Smart finishes. Lexington's penalty specialist strikes again, and the home side in front 30 minutes in. There's a reason why Don Smart's been the go-to all season from 12 yards. This is cool as you like from the 35-year-old Jamaican. Aviles guesses the wrong direction, and Lexington a deserved 1-0 lead after half an hour. Smart is one of 7 players to log over 100 career USL League One appearances, and that experience paying considerable dividends here. Lexington Sporting Club with an early 1-0 advantage. And now a mistake from Walefi. Here's Brown. Low cross looking for Bainham, narrowly beyond his reach. Through the opening half hour, Lexington has been nothing short of dominant. They've had the lion's share of possession, the press has wreaked havoc, and that man, Don Smart, the biggest beneficiary of all from 12 yards, opening the scoring in the 31st. James gives chase, and he wins the foot race. Now Diouf for Robertson. Seemed like he had the goal at his mercy, instead backs it right back out. Now Diouf! And you just wonder if that extra touch from Tate Robertson may have cost Lexington a second. Suddenly, Diouf is in a bit of discomfort here. Let's take a look at exactly what transpired here. Diouf has a touch. He took a hand to the face from what looks to be Travis Nicklaw. Came off a bit worse for wear. Certainly the last thing anyone wants to see, a budding star for Lexington. A native of Dakar, Senegal, being tended to by the physios. Top goal contributor and one of the top danger men tonight for Lexington. Here's Riley Kraft. Searches for Mensah. Diouf back on the pitch. Good to see he's all right, and both teams up to full strength. Lombardi's cross. Cleared only as far as Malongo, no whistle. Liborio settles for the visitors. Here's your look at the lone goal scorer to this point, Don Smart. Moments ago from the penalty spot, opening the scoring in the 30th minute after Ates Diouf, Lexington's main danger man the last couple weeks, won the penalty. Now the first major set piece for Chattanooga Red Wolves 5 minutes later. Kraft and Espinosa in the vicinity. Espinosa had an assist from a set piece last Wednesday. Espinosa wins the corner.
Chattanooga Red Wolves corner taken by 99, Mo Espinosa.
Now one of the top creative playmakers in all of USL League One readies himself for Chattanooga's first corner. Enjoyed a huge breakout campaign for the Red Wolves in his first season with the club in 2022. Espinosa's in swinger. Looking for Walefi, it's over everyone's head. Mo Espinosa was sensational last season for a Chattanooga side that really hit its full form in August, September, and October of last year. Finished 4th in the League One table. Espinosa was a major part of it. 8 goals and 7 assists a year ago, but was a little behind on the fitness front entering this season. Coach Kortowski opted to use him as more of a substitute in the early stages of the campaign. Now working his way up to full strength in the last few weeks, has looked like his old self. Since the goal, things have settled a bit more for Chattanooga build-up-wise. Still unable to really build from the back, but they've enjoyed more of possession. With halftime fast approaching, better signs. But Brown comes away with the interception and wins a free kick. Mikhail Williams enters the book. Second Red Wolf booked tonight. It's the 32-year-old center back, Mikhail Williams. Leffy giving it away, Brown off to the races, and a professional foul by a very experienced center back. Jalen James. Approaching the final 5 minutes and change of this first half. Lexington has certainly been the more assertive of the two sides. But in small spurts, it has felt like Chattanooga's grown into it a bit more. Bainham will be cautioned for a little bit of extracurriculars off the ball.
Lexington SC yellow card issued to number 9, Will Bainham.
The Australian is the first Lexington man in the book tonight. Has certainly been one of the tenser first halves as well. Woleffi got dealt an early yellow. Both sides very physical in the heart of midfield. And obviously this match meaning a lot for both these squads. For Lexington, it is about revenge. The heartbreaking defeat on April 29th. After leading late. Well, for Chattanooga, they just snapped out of that winless drought. It's about building and getting results on the road, which is something that's eluded the Red Wolves all year. Fox plays out of trouble and draws the whistle. Entering the closing stages of this first half. Undoubtedly, and Mal Knight will be very pleased with the lack of pressure he's faced. A far cry from what transpired on Saturday at Tormenta. But now Kraft looking for some late trickery. Overhits Malongo, and Robertson calmly lets that roll out of play. One of these key playmakers for Chattanooga, Riley Kraft, struggling to find a lot of time and possession here. Fans in full force to support Lexington SC tonight. Sam Stockley has nothing but praise for the local fan base. And he himself has been very involved. He's talked about the need to develop youth, over 140 different youth academies across the Lexington area. They've done a terrific job building a full operation around Kentucky. It's drawn a lot of community involvement in this Lexington SC club in their inaugural season. Bainham and Woleffi in a tussle once again. This time the whistle goes against the man in green. Here's Diouf. And they will tend to the man down for Lexington. Two men dealing with knocks. It's Woleffi for Chattanooga. A physical match in the center of the park. Both these sides have certainly been through a war in these opening 45 minutes. Looks like that may be Bainham for Lexington. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. 3 minutes of added time remain here in the first half. It was Will Bainham for Lexington who went off with a bit of a knock. He appears to be okay on the near sideline. He and Willefi both came off worse for wear on that physical challenge in the heart of midfield. Marsh looks for Kraft. Owen Green defends it very well. Through a half of play, these fullbacks have passed the test with flying colors for Lexington. There's been no real estate on either flank for Espinosa or Kraft. Now here comes Malongo. Space for a cross. Knight does very well to handle it. Reigning goalkeeper of the week, flashing those instincts once again. An enticing cross from Malongo, looking towards the back stick. Knight's palm, authoritative and decisive. Final minute of added time here in the first half. Perhaps time for one or two more crosses from Chattanooga. Willefi. Lombardi looks for Mensah. And it trickles beyond two white shirts for Chattanooga. Now Mensah does not appear comfortable on the deck there. Best chance of the match so far for Chattanooga. He overhits Mensah a little bit. Espinosa unable to follow it up. For a moment there, it maybe appeared Lexington had chinks in their armor. Mensah back to his feet, seems good to continue. And that may just wrap things up for the opening 45 minutes. Willefi forces the issue one more time, looks for Malongo. Malongo's cross. Now Marsh. Lombardi whips it in. Siobhan Marsh. And that will do it for the opening 45 minutes. Lexington SC with a 1-0 advantage at the intermission. Don Smart, the difference maker from the penalty spot in the 30th. Lexington Sporting Club with the advantage, a solid performance, but Chattanooga troubling them late. It sets the table for a very intriguing second.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up?
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
Good, we're gonna take it
You
up.
don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, Orthopedic Surgery, and Sports Medicine. The power of advanced medicine.
Halftime here in downtown Lexington. It was a busy week in USL League One. Let's take a look at some of the standout moments from a 5-game Saturday in Week 13. Starting with the second Battle of the Belt, Omaha and Greenville drew 3-3 in their first meeting. Similar story here. Joe Gallardo's shot immediately followed up and finished off by Noe Meza for his 6th goal of the year. He's been sensational in the months of May and June. That did not change here. And then on the stroke of halftime, Liam McKinnon pounces and levels the scoreline for Greenville triumph. It was all even at the break. And then in second half stoppage time, after the allotted 6 minutes, Rashid Nuhu comes up with a huge save to preserve a point. Omaha with a draw but winless in their last 6. Now over to Statesboro. South Georgia Tormenta looking to keep pace in the playoff hunt. Andrew Akindele wins a penalty kick in the 5th minute. And who else? Keziah Sterling, last season's top scorer, slots it home for his 2nd of the year, gives the home side a 1-0 lead. But then 10 minutes later, on a corner kick for Lexington, Cesar Murillo Jr. heads it back to a test youth who scores his 3rd in the last 2 games, a guy who has really hit his stride of late. And that is pretty much where things stood. No other standout moments. The defending champs forced to settle for a point at home. Then a Brees Stevens blitz against the league leaders North Carolina FC. Stephen Payne on the stroke of halftime threw on goal, slots it home past Nicholas Holiday. And the long ball barrage didn't stop there. After the break, Burn Shipman, a long ball, finds its way to Francis Janot-Baptiste. He gets through down the right-hand side and finds Wolfgang Prentice for his 1st goal of the year. It was 2-0 by the 62nd minute, and as you see another look at that fantastic bit of interplay. And they weren't done there either. 75th minute, Isidro Martinez from a corner kick. Ball gets knocked around, comes all the way to Jake Kroll. 3 different Flamingos opened their scoring account in 2023 and a 3-0 victory in Madison against the league leaders. Then the only scoreless affair of the weekend, Northern Colorado against Knoxville. You see a man bundled over in the area in Dietrich, and you would fancy the Golden Boot leader to slot this home. Sean Lewis, though, other ideas. Massive stop in the 52nd to keep Knoxville level, and then they had an opportunity in the 83rd to come away with all 3 points. Ball got knocked down to Jimmy Villalobos. A fantastic stop from Lalo Delgado allows the boys in white to preserve a point at the Future Legends complex. But what a hit that was from Villalobos. On to the nightcap for Saturday. Central Valley Fuego and Richmond Kickers. Fuego looking for a surprise, and Jesus Partida on the stroke of halftime providing it. Gets down the touchline, a good ball into the area. Jose Carrera, the beneficiary for his 1st of the year, the former Red Wolf, giving Fuego the lead. But after the intermission, things went downhill in a hurry for the home side. Emiliano Terzaghi wins a penalty kick. There are very few occasions in which the league's all-time leading scorer is going to miss one from the spot. Didn't come here in the 52nd, and he wasn't done either. 19 minutes later, long throw finds its way to Terzaghi in the box. Fantastic 2-touch finish gives Richmond the lead. And then things continue to go downhill. 6 minutes later, driving forward, Billy Forbes picks up the red card, and Central Valley Fuego would go on a fall 2-1. That's your look at the action this Saturday. 5 games in eventful Week 13.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
This is where worry turns into relief, where confusion turns into answers. This is where your family can turn to the experts for the big things and the little things. Extraordinary care is right here. UK Healthcare, the power of advanced medicine.
Welcome back to halftime here on ESPN+. Let's take a look at some news and notes from around USL League One. Ayman Zayed, the Northern Colorado Hailstorm coach, named Coach of the Month for May. He's the first former League One player to receive this honor, and it was a full sweep for Hailstorm on the Player and Coach of the Month award. Trevor Amon, a 5-goal May, earns that honor. Meanwhile, Richmond getting active in the transfer market. Ryan Sierakowski joining the squad. He is now one of 2 players to play for 4 different League One clubs. Let's take a look at the team of the week. You see Emiliano Terzaghi named Player of the Week after that brace against Central Valley Fuego. From this contest, Emel Knight gets the honor between the sticks after 9 saves last weekend. For Chattanooga, Siobhan Marsh and Ropapa Mensah are honored as well. Meanwhile, here's the scoreboard. We saw the highlights moments ago. The big standout result, of course, Forward Madison FC, a 3-0 victory over the league leaders North Carolina FC. Meanwhile, Chattanooga played on Wednesday, and Lexington a 1-1 draw on Saturday against Tormenta. Here's your look at the upcoming schedule for this weekend. 4 games on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. This Lexington team will be back in action away at North Carolina FC as part of a 3-match and 8-day stretch. Meanwhile, Charlotte Independence and 1 Knox. That one should be quite intriguing. That's all we've got for you for news and notes and upcoming schedules. When we return, halftime stats and analysis here on ESPN+.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Girls like you aren't runners, they said. Well, I wasn't.
Let's go ahead and get some pictures of that knee, okay?
6 months, down the drain. Give up
Keep the rhythm going.
or get up?
Perfect.
Who's not a runner now?
Good, we're gonna take it
You
up.
don't have to be an elite athlete to be treated like one. UK Healthcare, Orthopedic Surgery, and Sports Medicine. The power of advanced medicine.
Halftime here from Toyota Stadium in Georgetown, Kentucky. The home side, Lexington SC, a 1-0 advantage over Chattanooga Red Wolves after 45 minutes. Here's a look at some of the highlights from that first half, one which was largely dominated by Lexington, and it started early in the 8th minute. Lexington through Tate Robertson, charging up front in attack, and Nico Brown was inches away from putting the home side in front. A terrific one-handed stop from Carlos Aviles, maintaining a 0-0 scoreline. You take another look at this, a great run, forced a bit wide, and Aviles did the rest. But then in the 30th minute, Lexington would win the penalty, which eventually broke the deadlock. Ates Diouf charging forward, Walefi leaves a boot dangling, didn't get enough of the ball for the referee's liking, and immediately a point to the spot from 12 yards. Who else is the specialist? Well, Don Smart, his 6th career penalty goal, now top 5 in USL League One history in goals from 12 yards. That breaks the deadlock in the 30th minute. And so that's where we stand after 45 minutes. Here's a look at the stats. Chattanooga with the possession advantage, but they've parlayed it into 0 shots on goal. Lexington, the far more threatening with their 47% possession. Half of their 4 shots have found the frame. And Lexington, it felt like they had more of the ball than the numbers indicate. The other thing that sticks out, the yellow cards. 4 total issued in the opening 45. Chattanooga with 3 of those. It was a very physical first half. There were multiple minutes of added time. It sets a stage, very interestingly, for the second in a match that has gone back and forth throughout its very brief history. Chattanooga, of course, with the late comeback a few weeks ago up at CHI Memorial. Lexington once again with a 1-0 lead. It's just a question of whether they can parlay that into 3 points at home. Just about set for the start of the second half. Sam Goldfarb here. We'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. First 45 minutes set the stage very well. And if it's any indication, we could be in store for another exciting second half. Lexington with the bulk of the major opportunities, but Chattanooga did threaten late. And as Diouf gets us ready for the final half of play, these 45 minutes could have major bearing not only on the bottom 3, but potentially on the postseason hunt. The win moves either one of these 2 teams within 3 points of the playoff pace. One change, it seems, for Lexington. Khalid Balogun has been inserted into the action. A forward who scored the game winner against Charlotte Independence on this very ground on May 13th. So Balogun will replace Bainham, who picked up a yellow in that first half. That'll make an interesting tandem up top with himself and Diouf. For Chattanooga, that was their 11th scoreless half of the year. Up until last Wednesday, they had not scored a first half goal. They scored 2 against Forward Madison. Here tonight, though, unfortunately for them, a return to the same old, same old. And the numbers are not promising for Chattanooga when they trail at the break. Just 1 draw and 5 losses when trailing after 45 minutes. So not known for rescuing points from losing positions. Of course, the exception to that rule would be this Lexington club. Here's Kraft. A little too tight on Knight. Can't find Rapapa Mensah on the far side. Big difference between the first meeting between these two clubs is personnel. Amal Knight is the man between the sticks for Lexington. Meanwhile, Chattanooga has been forced into a slew of changes. We mentioned earlier Nico Cardona, as well as the starting goalkeeper Ricardo Jerez on international duty. They've also got 4 men on the injury report. Here's Diouf. A little heavy for James, and Marsh picks up the loose change. How about that recovery by Owen Green? So much of the onus tonight was going to fall on Lexington's fullbacks. Could they get involved going forward and play aggressively in the press without overextending themselves on the defensive side of things? So far, both Green and Robertson have towed that line very well. Walefi. For Kraft. It's a Chattanooga side with just 10 goals in their first 11 matches. One of the poor performing attacks so far, but Marsh will win a corner for the Red Wolves. Espinosa, these last few weeks, has proven quite troublesome as a set-piece man. Almost all of his assists have come from set-piece situations. Here's the outswinger. A little behind Williams, but Malongo recycles. Liboria. Green reads it very well. For Lexington, it's not necessarily a side known for their attacking prowess either. Just 11 goals in their first 11 matches, but the big difference is 5 of those have come in the last 3 contests. With the emergence of Ates Diouf, a lot has changed for Lexington. Mensah will draw the flag on the far side, and that attack cut out at the source. Balogun still working his way into this contest for Lexington. 24-year-old Bowie, Maryland native. Scored the game winner against Charlotte Independence. Also was a star at the Division III level 37 goals and 19 assists at St. Mary's College in Maryland. He's also a product of Maryland Bobcats FC in NISA. A lot of former NISA men on both these sides, especially for Lexington. Tate Robertson, a product of a very prominent Chattanooga FC side, facing off against another Chattanooga side tonight. Espinosa, another former NISA product. Plays it forward for Malongo. Chattanooga enjoying much more of the ball to begin the second. Press is a little more relaxed for Lexington since the restart. Malongo. Looking long for Balagoon, and he shrugs Williams off it. Smart, the goal scorer. Chips it down the line for Brown, and the fourth official has his flag raised. Nico Brown, an Atlanta, Georgia native. He's made his trade in USL League One for the last couple seasons. Kraft. This Chattanooga side has struggled to play through that Lexington midfield all night. And now Robertson has room to roam. A little too much mustard on that ball for Nico Brown. With the exception of one dangerous cross from Riley Kraft on the stroke at halftime, this Chattanooga side has struggled to create any major opportunities. This man Robertson has produced a few on his own effectively. James.
It's mine now.
Led the Big South in goals for Campbell in the fall of 2022. Comes out to Diouf. And still Diouf. Drawing a sea of white shirts whenever he touches it. Mensah has options ahead for Espinosa. Can't find Kraft on the far side. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including the return of USL All Access Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern, starting June 13th. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM 157 and the SXM app. Here's Jalen James for Lexington. Machel has space. Now Diouf. Diouf! right at Aviles, but he continues to wreak havoc in the final third. Now Brown, Nico Brown, just trickles it wide. Two massive opportunities for Lexington to double its advantage. It starts with James. Good selflessness from Mitchell Diouf, rocketing it right at Aviles, but the chance wasn't lost. Nico Brown dribbling through traffic, a little bit of a heavy touch, and just poked it wide, trying to weave it between two Chattanooga defenders. Either way, though, Lexington still showing initiative going forward, and it's reflective of Sam Stockley's pregame points of emphasis. Talking to him on the phone this week, he said we need to score the first and then kill it off, bag that second goal. That's something that's eluded us all year. They certainly seem the more likely of the two sides to score that second goal. Mitchell, in the midst of all of that, received a yellow card. So another Lexington man in the book. Both captains have been carded tonight. Nico Brown looks for Diouf in the half space and may have underhit it. Now Marsh searching for Mensah, and Murillo cuts off the angle. Chattanooga readying a substitution. It looks like it'll be Christian Enriquez. He'll be replacing Siobhan Marsh in presumably that center attacking midfield role. Enriquez, a player still working his way back from injury. He made his first cameo in the last 9 matches last Wednesday. Played the final 8 minutes in place of Ernesto Espinosa. A transfer from Forward Madison. So Mo Espinosa and Enriquez will partner up. Enriquez, previously with San Diego 1904 FC, also played with Albion San Diego before joining Forward Madison for the last 2 seasons. Also has a history with the Portland Timbers second team. Was also Big South Freshman of the Year at Cal Poly back in 2016. Enriquez and Murillo, former teammates at Forward Madison a season ago. Coach Kortowski is excited about Enriquez, values his experience in the league, and another player who has just recently worked his way back from the injury bug that plagued Chattanooga early in the season. Mensah in a tussle with 3 Lexington defenders, and it's ushered back tonight. Here's Robertson. Top 5 in USL League One in chances created. Working down the line for Green. Balogun gives chase. And he wins a UK Health corner kick. First UK Healthcare corner of the second half for Lexington. Excellent work by the substitute Balogun to earn the set piece.
Lexington SC corner will be taken by number 2, Tate Robertson.
Tate Robertson, Lexington's assist leader, will deliver this outswinger. Taken short for Smart. Robertson crosses to the near post, and Khalid Balogun finishes it off. Lexington grabs that coveted second, and it's Khalid Balogun's third of the year. The substitute proves to be a super sub once again at Toyota Stadium, and it all comes from the short corner. Smart plays it well for Robertson. Low delivery. Balogun first time hit beyond Aviles. And Lexington off to a flyer here a tad beyond the hour mark. Balogun now tied for the team lead in goals, and Lexington with a massive 2-0 advantage. Coach Stockley's checklist has been nearly completed. Not only did they grab the opener, they bagged the second, something that has eluded them so much throughout this year. And Lexington SC in the driver's seat as we head into the final half hour of play. It marks just the third time Lexington has scored multiple goals in a match this season. And a well-deserved 2-goal advantage for Lex Sporting. Travis Nicklaw in the book in his first start since early April. Dangles the boot on Doof after he turns him. Given there wasn't a lot of support behind, that's going to yield a yellow most of the time. Now Balogun, the goal scorer, wins a UK Healthcare corner kick. No rest for the wicked. You see that summary on your screen. Don Smart opening it from the spot in the 30th, and Khalid Balogun moments ago doubling the advantage from a very similar situation. This time, though, Machel stands over it. Another UK Healthcare corner kick. Arcing cross looking for Murillo. No one there to get on the end of it. We mentioned Balogun's pedigree as a goal scorer off the bench. Got proven pedigree pretty much wherever he's been as well. Had that illustrious D3 career, also spent the bulk of his high-level playing days at the DC United Academy. a 6'4" frame. He has the potential to become a real menace in the penalty area for Lexington this season. Chattanooga with considerable work to do if they hope to avoid a 5th defeat in the last 7 matches. And it'll start with getting that man, Ropapa Mensah, some more enticing service. It's felt like he's been on an island for the bulk of this evening. That's largely a credit to the press for Lexington. They've done so well to prevent wing services. So Mensah's runs have largely gone unnoticed, just due to the play of those fullbacks cutting off attacks at the source. Kraft looks ahead for Enriquez, who's still awaiting his first touch of consequence. You're smart. A boisterous crowd in attendance tonight at Toyota Stadium, and the supporters for Lexington SC with a lot to cheer about tonight. A 2-0 advantage for the home side, and likely the best performance of the year to date for Lexington SC. A community that has turned out so well for its local team in their inaugural campaign. Sam Stockley says he's been to North Carolina, he's seen the Charlotte fans, he's seen some of the best supporting environments throughout USL League One, and he feels the Lexington supporters rank among the top of those groups. Here tonight, they've certainly urged their team forward. Kraft unable to win the foot race to the byline. And another attack is snuffed out. For Chattanooga, you have to figure, regardless of what transpires here tonight, as the season goes on, they will pose major dangers to each side they face. We've seen their ability to score in waves. It just hasn't happened with enough frequency to shoot up the table to the degree I'm sure Coach Korotowski would have preferred. But when they get fully healthy, everyone comes back from international duty and start to establish a consistent 11. The likes of Mo Espinosa and some of those key playmakers will certainly put more of an imprint on the matches in front of them. Here's Brown. For Robertson. Diouf hunting James on the cutback. As we approach these final 20 minutes, what other changes Coach Korotowski has up his sleeve? It's a side that has struggled with Lexington's press. They've struggled to establish a foothold in the center of the park. sure Enriquez was one of those players he intended to address that concern. Alongo wins a corner for Chattanooga. And Espinosa will run over to take. A man who spent the bulk of his youth career in the Tijuana Youth Academy. And played with San Diego 1904 FC before joining this Chattanooga side a season ago. In-swinger narrowly evades Williams, cleared only as far as the corner take. Espinosa, another cross, and Knight will collect with authority. It has been that kind of night for Chattanooga. Missing that final delivery to really trouble Knight between the sticks. Well, Aviles was off his line, and it was an audacious ask from Diouf. Drew an amused laugh from the fans in attendance. Can't blame him with the form he's in either. Only thing that has eluded his performance tonight has been a goal. He's done pretty much everything else in the final third. Kraft.
Substitution for Chattanooga Red Wolves SC, 14, Pedro Hernandez.
Two changes for Chattanooga, and they're both attack-minded.
Number 24,
Andrew Paoli
replaces number 8.
and Pedro Hernandez due to enter the action for Walefi and Riley Kraft. Pedro Hernandez has grown into a regular substitute for Chattanooga lately. A 23-year-old product of Cal State Monterey Bay. Has yet to log a goal contribution as Green is booked for Lexington. But Hernandez, certainly a player who has a history of goal scoring. Here's another look at this challenge. Mo Espinosa charged into by Green, and yeah, that'll probably draw the yellow most of the time. And free kick in an enticing position for the Red Wolves. Espinosa and Enriquez in the vicinity. So for Hernandez, this is his 9th appearance. He's made 3 starts this year. At Cal State Monterey Bay, had 16 goals and 8 assists in 56 career appearances. Also logged the 3rd ever hat trick in program history a couple years ago. The USL on ESPN continues as the summer heats up. Memphis 901 FC and Aaron Malloy head to the Valley of the Sun to face Manuel Arteaga and Phoenix Rising FC. It's Phoenix Rising FC and Memphis 901 FC, Saturday, July 1st at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. The USL pyramid continuing to grow across the board. The championship, of course, a tremendous attraction. Got some new clubs in League One that are drawing fans en masse. The team on display tonight at Toyota Stadium has certainly done that. Another UK Healthcare corner kick for the boys in green. In-swinger, overhits Balagoon, and Fox may have just won another corner. Machel's best delivery of the night so far. And Fox heads it right off Lombardi. Yep, another UK Healthcare corner kick should be in the offing.
Number 2, Tate Robertson will take the LSC corner.
Robertson, who assisted the second goal tonight, with yet another delivery from the right side. Murillo charges into the back of Lombardi, and the chance is lost.
Lexington SC substitution. Number 11, Soso Kim replaces Jalen James.
A pair of quality performance exit the action for Lexington. Jalen James and Charlie Machel will vacate for Soso Kim and Pierre Mane, to a large applause from the Lexington faithful. James very involved tonight, had his moments in the final third, and Charlie Machel not too shabby himself. He'll be replaced by the ball-winning midfielder from Senegal, Pierre Mane. Another pair of talented players Coach Stockley and his staff are excited about. Pierre Mane, a product of VCU, began his career at Pittsburgh before injuries hindered his career in the ACC. Meanwhile, Soso Kim played at Duke and UCSB and scored against Clemson in the NCAA tournament. He's the man that scored that screamer against Chattanooga in late April. Beginning to see the depth on full display for Lexington. Finally up to full strength physically. And the team gelling with each passing week. McLaw switches the play and overhits Espinosa. When we spoke to Coach Stockley about a month ago ahead of the Charlotte match, one of the things he said that stuck out was when we recruited our team, we prioritized youth. We knew we wanted guys who would be around for a couple years who we could develop into a cohesive unit. And while they took their lumps early, suffered a lot of early season defeats, nights like tonight show why that approach will eventually pay dividends. Guys like Diouf, Nico Brown, Khalid Balagoon, of course men you've seen come off the bench in Pierre Mane, all seem to be cornerstones of this Lexington squad. Here's Mane's first touch. Paoli, returning from a prolonged injury absence. A young player who got off to a quality start for Coach Koratowski, and he's excited to have back in the regular rotation. First appearance in the last 7 matches for the 24-year-old Californian. Mensah waits support ahead, looks for Hernandez. Cleared only as far as Malongo. Final 10 minutes of the initial 90 here. Chattanooga looking for some late drama. Here's Kim. Lombardi looks for support ahead. Now Mensah for Chattanooga. Hernandez overhits Malongo. And Mal Knight has not been forced into many saves tonight, but his goalkeeping instincts have been impeccable through the opening 80 and change. He's had a lot of crosses come his way, been very decisive on all of them. Still 2 substitutes available for both coaches. This is Lombardi, the top chance creator on this Chattanooga squad. Malongo surges ahead. Mael Malongo. Cross ricochets out of play. And it'll be a goal kick. Decent individual effort, but it was always going to be 3-on-1 here. Fox does well to force him wide, and that was a bit too tight an angle to finish. Just seems like the front three for Chattanooga has not been able to get on the same wavelength tonight. And again, more a credit to Lexington's ability to cut off those runs into the channels. Kalen Fox and Cesar Murillo Jr. have hardly put a foot wrong tonight. Those fullbacks have not been too shabby either themselves. Balogun. And Robertson. Hearing word, Johnny Guadarrama, more of a hybrid fullback center back, getting warmed up to enter the fray for Chattanooga. In the meantime, one more UK Healthcare corner kick awaits Lexington. Tate Robertson once again over to take it. We enter the final 5 minutes of the opening 90.
Lexington FC corner. Robertson.
Robertson awaits the referee's signal. Another outswinger on the way. Delivers towards Fox. And a foul on the tussle in the heart of the area. So Guadarrama set to enter. He's going to replace Mo Espinosa. A player filled with quality that hasn't quite had the space required to make an impact tonight. Guadarrama, a product of one of Chattanooga's 2 League Two sides, played at Park City Red Wolves for 4 seasons. Prior to that, played at Division II Montevallo, making his first appearance here in the month of June. For Coach Ziggy Korotowski, it is about developing some of these younger guys as well. He's spoken about the importance of depth as well as consistency in terms of initial 11. Said he's still trying to find the 14, 15 guys he can rely upon to regularly cycle through that starting lineup. And in times like this where you're dealing with the injury bug and guys on international duty, it's an opportunity for some lesser used guys to ink their name in that rotation. Longo bundled over by the sideline, wins a free kick. Now Hernandez. For Liborio. Enriquez. How about that defensive effort from Balogun? Yellow shown to Hernandez. Substitute booked. Things getting a little feisty here late. Another look. Good work by Enriquez to slither through traffic, but yep, late challenge from Hernandez. And Balogun still trying to shake off the knock. Scored Lexington's second in the 63rd. And up to this point was enjoying a very productive substitute appearance. Another look at the way this match unfolded. Lexington opened the scoring in the 30th minute. Atest Diouf won the penalty. Don Smart slotted it home in the bottom left. And then shortly after the restart, Khalid Balogun, the substitute, who was subbed on immediately after intermission, scored in the 63rd to double Lexington's advantage. Balogun will walk off the stinger there, as 4 minutes are added on here of stoppage time. Balogun limping gingerly, but seems content to finish this match off. Tonight does mark the first time Lexington's ever had a 2-goal lead in club history. It's been one of the better performances they've logged in this inaugural campaign. And barring a colossal collapse, they're in line to not only climb out of the basement of the League One standings, but move within 3 points of playoff pace. After a campaign in which Lexington went winless in their opening 3 matches and won just 1 of their initial 6, it'd be a very welcome sight for Sam Stockley and company. Here's another look at this. Guadarrama getting into it with Brown, may have hit him with an elbow. Another man who has been very dangerous tonight for Lexington. Set piece awaits Enriquez and company. Robertson clears. And the clock may be running a bit short for the visitors here. Into the final minute of added time. Vince's header finds its way to Smart. And Brown looks to play out of danger. A spectacular display from Lexington SC here at home tonight. It leaves them in line to secure all 3 points in one of their more dominant performances. Mal Knight did not have as much to do tonight as he had at the weekend. Get a yellow for time wasting, but he's in line for his 2nd clean sheet of the year and 4th of his career.
Lexington SC, yellow card, number 13 on the line.
Perhaps time for one more attack for Chattanooga. Enriquez looks for Hernandez. Rio will usher out a play. Paoli. Monet carries clear. Referee's checked his watch a few times. There have been some prolonged delays in stoppage time here. And that will do it. Lexington SC with revenge on their mind, and they come through with a 2-0 victory over Chattanooga Red Wolves. Sam Stockley's side moves within 3 points of playoff pace as Don Smart and Khalid Balogun power Lexington to their 3rd win of the year. And that man, Don Smart, now 5th all-time in penalty goals as a member of USL League One. 3 of them have come in a Lexington kit. Lexington SC, a 2-0 victory, a dominant display here at Toyota Stadium. We're going to step aside here on ESPN Plus when we return. A look at what transpired here tonight. Lexington fans with a lot to smile about as Smart and Balogun power them to victory.
Lexington is the Kentuckiest place in the world. Just look at it. It's by far the bluegrassiest, the bourbonist. See? The artsiest, and hands down, the horsiest. Oh, look, that one has a baby. I don't know why you would look anywhere else. Looking for the coolest, most Kentuckiest getaway? Look at Lexington.
Lexington SC with their third clean sheet of the year and their third victory in a 2-0 triumph over the visiting Chattanooga Red Wolves. Don Smart and Khalid Balogun, the difference makers tonight. And let's take a look at some of those standout moments from this contest. A pair of teams competing towards the bottom of the table. Don Smart and company got Lexington going. It started through a test to youth who charged forward into the penalty area, won a penalty after Willefi left the boot dangling. No real questions there. Willefi didn't get much of the ball, got a bit of ankle, and no hesitation from Kevin Fikar. From there, one of the top penalty takers in league history calmly slots it home, and Don Smart gives Lexington the advantage. You see the celebration. Lexington took a 1-0 lead in an intermission, and from there they doubled it in the 63rd. A short corner taken by Tate Robertson, whips in a low flashing cross. Balogun the beneficiary, his third of the year, a super sub from Bowie, Maryland, putting Lexington in front, and that would do it. A dominant performance from Lexington, and it is reflected in the stats. Chattanooga did have the bulk of possession, but did not do much with it. As you see, Lexington a 12-3 shots advantage. Chattanooga did not manage a shot on goal. Meanwhile, Lexington put 4 on target. The other thing that really sticks out is how physical this match was. 9 total yellow cards issued, 5 for the visitors, 4 for the home side. This was a chippy affair in which both teams were trying to notch a much-needed 3 points. The home side, Lexington Sporting Club, though, comes up with a 2-0 victory. They move within 3 points of the playoff cut line tonight. A massive result in Georgetown for the visitors. We'd like to thank you for joining us tonight on ESPN Plus. For Sam Goldfarb and all of our terrific crew, it's 2-0 Lexington. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.